So you're saying that women who are in relationships with men are helpless. That's dumb. Feminine and how not to be masculine with their man, because no man wants to have a masculine woman in general, unless you're like a beta and you're just like some guy who's just like has no confidence or whatever, and she's running your life. Like, and even then, would you as a woman want to do that? Would you even be attracted to a guy who you're just like running his life? What are you talking about? You can't have two bosses in a relationship. Like, the higher you go up in income, generally women don't want to date men that are lower in income. A guy is going to see a woman that's making a whole bunch more money than him, and it's going to be a bit of an attack on his masculinity. He's going to feel a certain way, like, why am I not performing at the level that she is? So apparently this woman, I guess she makes a lot of money, and she's 30 years old, and she's looking for a guy. So let's hear what she has to say.
I hate to say this, but like all of my friends who are married or engaged, they are not as successful as my friends who are single. My friends who are not damsels in distress, all single. My friends who are damsels in distress, all taken.
What is a damsel in distress? Like, what does it even mean at this point? Because a damsel in distress sounds like somebody like, help, help, I can't do it. I don't know how to open this door, or like I'm stuck in a burning building or something. It's not like they're not helpless. So you're saying that women who are in relationships with men are helpless. That's dumb. It's not at all what it is. There's a lot of women who are in relationships with men who are strong, confident women, but they know how to work with a man, and they know how to be feminine and how not to be masculine with their man, because no man wants to have a masculine woman in general, unless you're like a beta and you're just like some guy who's just like has no confidence or whatever, and she's running your life. Like, and even then, would you as a woman want to do that? Would you even be attracted to a guy who you're just like running his life? Because she sounds like a man. This sounds like a typical man thing. What she's saying. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, ugh.
I'm looking for a partnership. I'm not looking for my other half. I'm a complete person. I want someone who's the same. What's that quote? It's like, be a boss, date a boss, build an empire.
That sounds stupid. The idea that she wants a partnership, I'm fine with, like, the idea of a partnership. And it's a partnership would, I guess, be like 50-50 in general, right? Okay, fine with the premise, but it's how is that divided? Are we like, you can't, her quote right now, be a boss, date a boss? What are you talking about? You can't have two bosses in a relationship. Like, are you actually going to make any decisions? Like, you're both going to be fighting over the same thing. So what ideally you would do is you would be like, well, this person's responsible for finances, this person's responsible for, I don't know, cooking, this person's responsible for doing the stuff outside, whatever it is, and you're going to segregate based on like your skills and the things you might be deficient in. But you're not going to have like a boss bitch and a boss man. Like, no man wants to date a boss. That is the dumbest thing. No man wants to date a boss. I guess, again, unless you're a beta.
That's the plan.
That's
I
a
am
terrible
fiercely
plan.
independent, successful, have all the accolades. I have a great car. Like, guys are obsessed with my car when they see it. There's like that first initial like,
It's a BMW.
whoa. And then when you see it's someone you're about to go on a date with and they don't have something equivalent, I think they're kind of like, oh. The O is very different.
Well, they see it and they're like, oh, I guess she's got a lot of money, or she's making like 80,000 or something, and she's just putting her money into this car, which a lot of people do. So a lot of people to make some money, they're like, I want a luxury vehicle, and then they get one, and then they're like living to pay, and it's for the luxury vehicle, essentially. Guys like cars. So I don't know why this is surprising. And yeah, he might feel a little weird about it if you got like, it's clear that you have more money than him, and then he's just like, well, crap, I don't have that. Like, I can't afford a BMW. I got a Kia.
I travel all over the country. I go to the most beautiful places. I fly first class everywhere. All my food is gonna be paid for. I stay in these like beautiful suites, like overlooking like the ocean. I think I'm pretty mature.
Okay. I don't know what she means by all her food's gonna be paid for. Like she's not paying for it? Or she's paying for it through a package? Or like people are giving her the food? What does this woman do? I,
For my age, I'm 30. I know you don't really say this word, but it's perfect. I have everything. And I think that's weirdly scares guys off.
yeah, because how or what value would a man bring into your relationship? So now you're like, a man's coming in. He's like, well, maybe he thinks you're cute because she's not bad looking. She's cute. He thinks you're cute. And he comes into your life, and you got all this stuff going on. What is he bringing to this relationship? Only thing I can think of is sex. He's like a body. He's a warm body now for you. Um, is he going to be like, I don't know, like fixing stuff, I guess? It just seems very limited because you already have so much. And so he's not like really providing for you. You're almost providing for him. And that, unless you're dating somebody who like makes way more than you, but then you're both making a ton of money, and it's just like, it's almost pointless at that point in a sense. It's just like, why? It's just more money on more money. Like, why does everybody need to just make a whole bunch of money and be uh, stressed out and working hard or whatever and be like flying around? Like, maybe somebody should be more like stable and grounded, I guess, you know? And it's just nice to have a partner who you can be like that with, right? I don't know. It seems like you'd just be competing with each other. Like somebody's stuff is going to have to take a back seat if you're going together, right? Because you can't always be in two places at once, or you're both going to go separately. And then it's like, I don't even know why you're together. Because what if he's traveling for work because he's his business dude and he's busy with work, and then you're busy with work, and then it's just like, what's the point? I don't know what he's bringing. I don't know what a guy's bringing to your relationship, unless he's like makes no money. Then he's around, but like you're not going to want to date him.
I have no one to share this like cool ass life with. I'm concerned that the older I get, I'm gonna have to make more sacrifices
Yes.
because I've aged out. Like when I've been on dating apps, like I don't know if anything promising is coming out of it anymore. Just whatever's like left over. I don't want to be like 36 and single.
Literally on the path that she's on, she will be 36 and single because her options at her income bracket. I don't know what her income bracket is, but I'm just like, the higher you go up in income, generally women don't want to date men that are lower in income. And that's not even like a red pill thing. Like people in the red pill space talk about this like crazy, but it's not even specific to red pill. It's just like a thing that women do. It's just like a normal trait thing now that women now are in the workforce, they make money, and if they make a good amount of money, well, anyways, whatever money they make, they generally don't want to date somebody who makes less. And it's a generalization. There's always exceptions, but they don't want to date somebody who makes less money. They want to date a guy who makes more money. And generally, that's better, more the same anyways. Generally, that's better for a guy because a guy looks at it sort of in a similar way. A guy really doesn't care about how much money the woman's making. Does not care. That's not really important. Unless he's like a bum and he's like wants a free ride. But in general, guys don't care. Now, a guy is going to see a woman that's making a whole bunch more money than him, and it's going to be a bit of an attack on his masculinity. He's going to feel a certain way, like, why am I not performing at the level that she is? So he's going to have to work through that, and that's going to cause issues in your relationship. Unless you have a really confident guy, he's really confident himself, it can work. But it's harder to do, and I have seen it in relationships around me. There was two lawyers who were married. One was a partner, one wasn't. So the man wasn't, and he was making like 120, roughly 100, 120, and she's making like 350. And the fights that they would have, I would literally be in their house. I'd be just sitting back, and they would get into some fight, and I was like, you could just see that there was a lack of masculinity in the house. Like she was running the show. She was like running everything over him. He whenever anything with money came up, it would be like, well, I can't do that because, I need to save X, to go on this vacation. She'd be like, don't worry, I'll take you on the vacation. And then his face would just like be like weird. Like he'd have a weird expression on his face, and he would make comments like when they would sell something, like, oh, he should get 50% of it. When they sold like a condo they had, he should get 50%, she should get 50%, right? But it was technically she had paid in way more money, and she was fighting with him, being like, no, I put way more money in, of course I'm going to get more of it. And they're not even divorcing, and it was just like a thing. Like she was like the man. She was a man in the relationship, and he was a woman. And it's not just all money, right? Like, because maybe you can make a lot of money and be more feminine and not do this when you're at home, but she was also fulfilling the masculine role, which just doesn't work. Now, something I want everybody to think about now watching this video, if you listen to this video and you put a man in her position, it is now a man saying very similar things, right? Obviously, won't be saying like, I'm going to be single by 36, blah, but saying very similar things. What does that sound like? Because she sounds like a man. This sounds like a typical man thing, what she's saying. So if you put it in the context of a man is now actually saying it, it sounds like kind of what you would expect. You're like, oh yeah, guy's making a lot of money. He's traveling around the world. He's doing all this stuff. He probably have tons of women lined up wanting to date him. But when it's reversed, she is fulfilling like a typical male role, like a masculine vibe. It's not even a role, like it's a masculine vibe, like it's very masculine energy. Guys are just not wanting to be in there because they don't want to date other men. I mean, they're not gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. So women like this, just a big red X, no, she's going to have to learn how to change this.